Hi, in last class we have seen ambiguous grammars. So when do you say a grammar is ambiguous? Suppose I have taken a grammar here. So for this grammar, I want to generate a string, and the generated string is id plus id star id. I can do, I can use these productions, I can do like this, and to get this string, I have written a derivation tree. Similarly, the same string that you have here can be obtained by the other set of productions with the different derivation tree. This is different and this is different, but the string obtained is same. That's why we say the grammar is ambiguous. Second example, say I have a grammar here, and this grammar I am using to generate 4 A's. So this can be done in two ways. See, I have started with AS and I kept on derivating, and I have written its equivalent derivation tree. What is the string I have obtained here? 4As. Similarly, here I started with AS, that is one meaning of S. Similarly, the second production I am starting with X, using which also I can derive 4As, and the derivation tree obtained is this. You can clearly see this derivation tree is different from this derivation tree, or this parse tree is different from this parse tree, but the string obtained is same, hence we say it is ambiguous. Similarly, we have solved two more problems. In today's class, what we do is we look at eliminating the ambiguity in the given grammar. That is, whatever the ambiguous grammars you have, you will make them unambiguous. How to do that? By using disambiguity rule and using precedence and associativity of the operators. Now, to eliminate the ambiguity, there are some set of points we should know. That is, there exists no general algorithm to remove the ambiguity from a grammar. That is, there is no standard technique or algorithm or steps to remove the ambiguity in the given grammar. Second one is, how do we know that the grammar is ambiguous? We check the grammar is ambiguous. How? We'll find some strings with different parse trees. That is what we have done in the last problems and all. Okay. What we do, we'll take a string and we'll generate multiple parse tree to it. If we are getting multiple parse trees, then we say it is ambiguous. Now, if such string exists, then the grammar is ambiguous. Now, before going to these topics, I would like to take an example using which we will see the meaning of these two definitions, that is precedence and associativity. Okay. So, the example I would like to take here is okay. Let me take a grammar. E tends to E plus E or E star E or ID. This is the grammar. First, we should know whether it is ambiguous or not. So, let me do it like this. The string I want to obtain from this is ID plus ID star ID is the string I should obtain. So here what I do is I'll take E tends to E plus E. I'll go with left recursion. This E, what I have, I'll replace this E with ID in left recursion, and this E I'll keep it as it is. So next what I do is I'll take the ID as it is plus this I'm going to replace with E star E. So this will be E star E Here what I do is id plus id star e. Next it will be id plus id star id. So the derivation tree for this is, first I have taken e and I have taken it as e plus e, then this was id, then this was e star e, and this was id star id. So this is the derivation tree for the above derivations. Suppose if the second method I can do is e tends to e star e. So here I am going with right association. See, this e plus I have taken it as it is. This e I have taken it as e star e. So it tends to what? E plus e star. This e I will replace with id. Then I will take e plus id star id, e plus id star id. So the strings are same, but the derivation tree is different. E tends to e plus e, I started with e star e, then this was e plus e, then this became id, this became id, and this became id. So to overcome this, what I do is, you have taken a grammar e tends to e plus e bar e star e bar id, right? In which I have some set of operators, and the operators are plus and star. And we know something called precedence. So what do you mean by that? Star is having more precedence than plus, or star is having more priority compared to plus. That is one thing we should know. And the second one is we have operands. What are the operands? Here we have id is the operand we have. So the grammar of this kind can be written as, see, there was ambiguity in this grammar because this grammar could generate a set of string by using left recursion as well as right recursion. So the tree can grow either left side or it can grow towards right side. We are going to restrict this to any one side, that is left recursion we are going to take. And we assume plus and star both are left associative. So what I do here is the same grammar, I will rewrite it as e tends to e plus t. I have introduced a new variable here that is called t, in which you can see if I want to take any derivations or if I want to replace, I can replace only e here in the first stage. So now I have to define what is t, right? So I will define it as t tends to t, this is for multiplication f, where I have considered star also as left associative, no? So if you want to perform multiplication operation, it can grow towards left side. Now I have to define what is f. F can be ID now. Now let us derive the string ID plus ID star ID using this above grammar. Now there is one more thing that we should know here. Suppose instead of taking ID plus ID star ID, if I had taken ID star ID star ID, what is the start symbol? E is the start symbol. And according to the grammar, see, if you want to go to multiplication, first you have to do addition, right? But that is not the case here. I don't have addition operator only. I have all multiplication operators. So there is some more thing that is missing here. And what is that thing missing is, instead of going to multiplication via addition, if I want to go directly to multiplication, what I do is, I'll say E can be defined as E plus T, or if you want to skip this and go directly here, you write it as T. Similarly, here, if I don't want multiplication, I would directly want to go to ID, this entire thing can be replaced with F. So that is why we are writing these two here, to skip the mandatory step. Okay, now let us come back here. I was trying to derive this using this grammar. So what I do here is, initially I'll take E tends to E plus T, right? Now see the definition of this E. This E can be replaced with E plus T, or it can be replaced with T as well. So what I do here is, I'll replace this E with T, that is the left recursion, plus E, I'll write it as it is. In the next step, what I do, for T, I'll take the definition of F. Now what is the definition of F? F can be written as ID. So I'll be writing this as ID plus this rightmost E, what I have, rightmost E, I'll be replacing with T again. Rightmost E is replaced with T. Notice the definition of T. T can be T star F. So I'll write this as ID plus T star F, where T can be written as F, that is ID plus F star F. So next it will be ID plus star ID, because I am replacing F star F into ID star ID. So this is the grammar which doesn't have any ambiguity in it. How we remove the ambiguity from here? By using two things. One is associativity, and the second one is by using precedence of the operator. So that is what we say here. Removing an ambiguity using precedence of an operator or associativity rule. So an ambiguous grammar can be converted to unambiguous by using precedence constraint and associativity constraint. In this example, I roughly showed you how to use associativity and precedence, but we'll see it in step by step here. So first let us take the precedence constraint. What the precedence constraint says is, the level at which the production is present defines the priority of the operator. See here, the topmost production is having plus in it, the next production is having star in it, and ID is at last. So the level at which you have the operators will say its precedence. So what precedence it says? Higher the level of the production, lower the priority of the operator. See, in these three productions, you have plus in the very first step, so that indicates plus is having low preference, and lower the presence of the operator indicates higher precedence. That is your next one. Lower the level of the production, higher the priority of the operator. So you have the operator in the second production, that means star is having more precedence compared to plus. That is the meaning of it. Now you can see here in this derivation tree, plus is defined in the beginning, which is having less priority, and your star here, it is having more priority. That is the meaning. So in precedence constraint, there are three things you should know. The level at which the production is present defines the priority of the operator. Higher the level of the production, lower the priority. Lower the level of the production, higher the priority. That is, higher the level of the production is having low priority, and lower the production, you have high priority. That means star is having more priority compared to plus. That is the meaning of it. Next, we will go to the associativity rule. What associativity constraint says is, if the operator is left associative, induce left recursion in its production. See here, for both plus and minus, we have considered it is left associative. That's why while writing the production, I have taken E tends to E plus T. What is this? This is left recursion. That is, it can grow, this line can grow towards left side. Similarly, for star, I have taken, see, left recursion. This line, only left side can grow, because you know only the value of t here. You don't know the value of f that is there in the next statement. The next rule says, if the operator is right associative, induce the right recursion in its production. We'll discuss this second line now. Now see here, let us write a new grammar, that is E tends to E plus E, or E star E, or E power E, or ID. Now see here, we can assume plus and star as left associative. That is, if I have 5 plus 4 plus 2, first I can add these two, later I can add these two. That is the meaning of left associative. This star as well as this plus and star can be left associative like this. But when it comes to power, see, if I take 5 power 3 to the power 2, first we have to solve this, then we have to solve this. That is, it is right associative. First you are solving this, then you are coming back here. So if I want to write its equivalent grammar, it should be what? It should have a right recursion in it. So let us rewrite the grammar. These two are left associative, no? This can be written as, see, E tends to E plus T. Growth can be on left side now. Bar T. T tends to T star G, or let me write it as F only, because in last example I have taken it as F, bar F. So what was F? F was ID for me, right? Now the new thing we need to add, the new production to be added, that is for power, which is a right associative. So here what I do, I'll write it as G tends to F power G bar F. See, G tends to F power G. That means what? Your growth is towards right side. That is the meaning of right recursion. And from this line, if I want to go to this line, this F should be changed to what? G. Similarly, this F should be changed to G. See, E tends to E plus T, growth is towards left side because plus is left associative. T tends to T star G, growth is towards left side because star is also left associative. But when it comes to G, G tends to F power G, G is towards right side because it is right associative. And finally F is defined as ID. That is the meaning of first and second line. If the operator is left associative, induce left recursion. If the operator is right recursive, induce right recursion. In this grammar, we have considered plus and star as left associative and power as right associative. So that's why the grammar looks like this. Okay. Now keeping these two in our mind, that is precedence as well as associativity, we will solve some grammars. We will convert the ambiguous grammars into unambiguous grammars. Okay. So now, see, this is a grammar for a regular expression. What are the three operators we can get in a regular expression? Either plus, union, or star concatenation, or closure, that is star. Union dot concatenation star closure, and the alphabets we are taking here is either A or B. Okay. So now in the given grammar we have to identify the operators given. What are the operators? Plus, star, plus, dot and star are the operators given. So the operators present in the grammar is plus, dot and star. So with this we have to identify the operands given in the grammar. What are the operands given? A and B are the operands given. So now let us apply precedence and associative rule on this. Now see here, when I go with the precedence order, if I am using brackets with A plus B, AB, that will be the top precedence. For example, if I write A plus B star B, first this will be evaluated, then this will be evaluated. So bracket is having highest precedence, then the second precedence goes to star, then the third precedence goes to dot, and the fourth precedence goes to plus. So which are having least precedence here? Dot and plus is having least precedence. So we'll consider it as left associative. So here plus is having left associative in it, and dot is also having left associative in it. And you got to know how I wrote it. If you having confusion, you can go to the previous example and check it. Now star is a right associative because it is a clean closure. So F tends to F star. You can use F for any number of times, and G tends to A or B. So this is the unambiguous grammar that we have obtained from this grammar by using precedence rule or precedence and associativity rule. First we have checked the precedence and we have defined, we have assumed the associativity. Based on the associativity, we are writing the grammar. So let us see the second example now. Now see, the grammar for a Boolean expression is ambiguous. Convert the same to unambiguous grammar. See here, this is the grammar for a Boolean expression. What are the operators we can get in a Boolean expression? Or, and, not. So I have a Boolean expression which can be defined as Boolean expression or Boolean expression, Boolean expression and Boolean expression, Boolean expression with a not, and finally the Boolean expression can be true or false. Okay. So now in this Boolean expression, what are the operators we have? We have or, we have and we have not. So the operators are or, and not are the three operators. What are the variables we have in it or operands? The operands are true or false. So true or false are the operands we have. So the priority order will be like this. Either it can be true or false. True or false is having more priority than not. Not is having more priority than and is having more priority than or. So the last two will consider it as left associative. So the grammar looks like, let it here only, E tends to E or T bar T, T tends to what? Left associative, no? T and F bar F, something like this. Both are left associative. So it looks like this. Boolean expression, instead of E they have used Boolean expression, and instead of T they have used M. So Boolean expression turns to Boolean expression or M. Why is this? If I want to directly go to and without using or, okay, then we have M tends to M and N bar N. N is right associative. See, not N bar G, where G can be TF. This can also be written as, see, E tends to E or T bar T, T tends to T and G bar G, G tends to not G bar F, where F can be T or F. So like this. So hence we have proved that this is unambiguous. So from an ambiguous grammar, we have reached an ambiguous thing. So I'll just revise it once. We say that the grammar is ambiguous if there are multiple parse trees to generate the same string. So to do that, to remove this ambiguity, we use precedence and associativity operator. This we'll see next class. Precedence and associativity of the operator. So now we have 3 points to be noted. There is no standard algorithm to remove the ambiguity in a grammar. And one more thing that you should know is, we cannot convert all the ambiguous grammars into unambiguous grammar. Okay. Next, to check if the grammar is ambiguous, what we do, we'll take a string and we'll generate multiple parse trees to the same string. And if multiple parse trees exist, then we say it is ambiguous. Okay. So what we did, we tried to understand priority constraint and associativity constraint. So what do you mean by precedence constraint? Precedence constraint says that the level at which the production is present defines the priority of the operator. Higher the level, lower the priority. Lower the level, higher the priority. That we have seen in here. Plus is having least priority, star is having more priority. Okay. And in this also you can see and or is having low priority. That's why you have it in the top only. See, they are in the top. And not is having high priority, that is in bottom. Likewise. And here also. Plus and dot is having low priority. Plus and dot is at the higher level. Star is at the next level. So that is what your precedence rule says. Higher the level, lower the priority. Lower the level, higher the priority. Then associativity. Associative, what it says, the operator, if the operator is left associative, induce left recursion in its production. If the operator is right associative, induce right recursion. Here we have seen an example of the right recursion by taking a new symbol par. And we have solved two examples. The first example is the grammar for regular expression, and you have eliminated the ambiguity present in the grammar using precedence and associativity rule. Similarly, you have a grammar for Boolean expression. This is ambiguous. We have eliminated the ambiguity by using precedence and associativity, and the final answer was this. So this is about eliminating the ambiguity in the grammar, that is converting an ambiguous grammar to an unambiguous grammar by using precedence of the operators and associativity of the operators. Thank you.